Welcome to Dick Morris Democracy. I'm Dick Morris. Joe Biden is in more serious trouble, more than Republicans hope or Democrats realize. A survey of 1,000 likely voters conducted by McLaughlin and Associates from May 14th to 17th shows that Joe's son Hunter's involvement with China is severely damaging his candidacy. The survey shows that a majority of American likely general election voters now believe that some of, quote, the money Hunter collected ended up in Joe's pocket. The survey also shows that Biden's primary opponent, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is gaining on him and poses an increasingly real threat to his renomination. The survey also found that President Trump's run-ins with New York prosecutors have redounded to his benefit, even with Democrats. By 79 to 21, general election voters said, Trump's persecution by the left makes me like him more and more. The China issue is making Biden vulnerable, and the Kennedy challenge may be the punch that knocks him out of the race, just like it was when his fathers knocked Lyndon Johnson out of the race in 1968. When Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced his candidacy for president, Democrats, Republicans, and independents all sneered that he had no chance of winning. But as his candidacy has developed and he's articulated his positions on issues like lockdowns, COVID, vaccinations, pharmaceutical products, pesticides, and other key issues, his ratings have improved. In the survey I conducted in partnership with McLaughlin and Associates, who did the field work, Kennedy's vote share among likely Democratic primary voters in a hypothetical matchup with Biden had risen to 27%, up from 19% when he announced his candidacy last month. While the survey still showed President Biden at 58%, the steady gains Kennedy has been making indicate deep trouble ahead for the president. Kennedy has great room to grow his vote share. The survey indicated that 51% of the primary voters had a favorable opinion of him, while only 21% felt negatively. If Kennedy may administer the knockout punch to Biden, the evidence piling up at the House Oversight Committee of Hunter's work with China may set the punch up. My survey asked general election voters if they believed that some of the money China paid Hunter ended up in Joe's pocket. 55% said yes, they believed it had, and only 45% it didn't. Independent voters also believed Joe profited from Hunter's work in China by a similar margin of 54 to 46. But then we asked voters if they believed Joe Biden may have received funds from China that led him to be more receptive to China's influence. By 59 to 41, voters said yes. And then we asked the coup de grace. Do you believe that the funds Joe Biden may have received from China led him to put the national interests and security of the United States in danger? By 56 to 44, voters said they believed it had. 28% of Democrats and 52% of independents said that the president had endangered our security by taking money from China. The House Oversight Committee is still at the beginning of the money trail that may take them to Joe Biden. They're still amassing evidence that Beijing paid Hunter and other members of the Biden family $10 million through a partnership between Hunter's company and the government-owned Bank of China. We've yet to hear direct evidence that any of this money ended up in Joe's pocket. But an email by Hunter on his abandoned laptop specifying how much of the China profit he was reserving for the big guy offers tantalizing clues. We also have a 2010 email in which Hunter complained to his daughter that he had to give half his salary to pay his father's bills. Don't worry, he reassured her. Unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary. If particularly at this early stage of the committee's deliberations, so large a percentage of the voters had come to the conclusion that President Biden was guilty of misconduct, it's likely that the scandal will further fuel the president's ratings, negative ratings. My survey showed Trump leading Biden by 3.6 points, about the same number McLaughlin has found in each of his monthly surveys since the 2021 abandonment of the U.S. Embassy in Afghanistan. But the survey also indicated that opinions about Trump have turned more positive. 83% of all voters agreed that Trump is making a lot of new, interesting proposals and ideas. And 69% agreed that he's spending less time talking about the 2020 election. The deterioration in Biden's job ratings is helping Trump. 78% of voters agreed that as Biden looks worse and worse, Trump looks better and better. Particularly the economic record of the current administration seems to be leading voters of all parties to look more favorably, if nostalgically, on the Trump years. 85% of all voters and 66%, two-thirds of Democrats agreed that as I see how things are worse under Biden, I'm coming to appreciate Donald Trump's record more and more. Even voter attitudes toward the famously prickly personality of Donald Trump have improved. 66% feel that he's toned down his style and become more moderate. All these data leave Trump in good shape, although he's leading by only 4 points. In my poll, the data suggests that he could expand his lead to a range of 4 to 6 points. Only abortion is holding him back. My poll shows a big tilt in favor of pro-choice. Only 14% of the voters favor banning all abortions, while twice as many, 32, want to legalize them all. The balance, 54% of the voters want abortion to be legal during the first trimester and always for rape, incest, or danger to the life of the mother. Well, combine that 54 with the 32% who want all abortions to be illegal, and a consensus of 86% appears to be emerging around allowing abortion in the first trimester but banning it thereafter. Polls can and do change, and Biden may not be the Democratic candidate after all. But as of May 2023, it appears clear sailing for Donald J. Trump.